Guys, so now what we're going to do is add a bit more detail to our plans in the form of schedules. So schedules, if you don't know, is kind of typically done in Excel. It basically counts certain things, extracts certain information from project drawings and presents it in a much more of a table format. Traditionally, it would have been done in Excel or other types of programs, and it would have been quite a laborious task in itself. Revit makes it a lot more easier because within it you can extract information for your schedules, and it's live as well. So it's a live view of your building, and it changes as your building grows and develops and changes along the way. So in order to add a schedule, we're going to create a door schedule for now, but this process is the same for any type of schedule that you do, be it window schedule, furniture schedule. So you might want to try out some other ones if you want. But for now, what we're going to do is a door schedule. So if you go to view, and if we go to over here under create, you'll see an Excel looking symbol over here says schedules. You can create a number of other types of schedules. Again, in the costings tutorial later on, I do go over some of these ones as well in terms of material takeoffs and that. But for now, we're just going to click on schedule and quantities. In this list, what we're going to do is this is where you identify what type of schedule you want to do. So you can see doors there, but you can create other types of schedules, furniture schedules. You can create ones for HVAC systems and components. So yeah, this is the first point at which you start to decide on what type of schedule that you are doing. You can rename it if you want, and then the rest of it is pretty unchanged. Click OK. Now, this is where you start to organize what kind of fields you want. Okay, so what I mean by field is what type of information you want to show in your schedule. So you get a big list of information that typically is associated with doors, and this is where that initial drop-down menu and selection helps, because it helps identify what kind of information you need to organize into your schedule. So here, if you look down, you need to identify what type of information is useful for a schedule, for someone looking at a schedule, what type of information they might find useful to either order the product or in order to understand what is needed, basically. So if you go down this list, we're going to pick and choose what type of information we need. So I would think we possibly need the fire rating, which is quite important because on commercial buildings, if I go up to I just look at all the other options, down, type, height, it's quite important, level, what level of the building it's on, manufacturer, who's manufacturing the door, mark is the allocated number to that door, so you can locate it on the plan itself. It's quite important. You can add model number in. Add the width. I think there's a width. There's one of them. Yeah, width. Okay, so once you've added the fields in, you can add more in if you want and have a play about with it. And later on, I'll show you where all this information is coming from. You can organize the order which this goes, so you can pick and choose the order which this goes. So I might start with the number, and then I might go down to the level where it's at, and then I might start off with the width, the height, manufacturer, and model number. Okay, so whatever way you want to organize it, it's up to you. After that, if you click OK, that will pull out all your doors into a schedule. Okay, so you can see the mark is the number, level, which level of the building it's on, and then width and height, fire rating, manufacturer, and then model number. You'll see some of this stuff is not available just now, and I'm going to show you how to add things in. Obviously, if you get information from external databases or company websites in terms of their products, this is where they usually have all this information added into their model, because that's the information part of BIM essentially. That's included within all the components. So they would typically have every part of their product specified within the model itself. But here, because we've just picked generic ones, we need to add in some information. So we're going to do that in the next step. Just a couple of things to note here. In order to find your schedule, it will automatically appear now under schedules and quantities. So if you ever want to come back to it, it's always there. So it'll make its own little new tab under schedules and quantities. Okay, so within here, under your properties panel, you can always get back to your fields from here. So if you click on any of these, it gets back to this schedule properties panel. So you can actually always add in and remove. So if I want to add in another one, for example, um, type mark, add in. I can add a new one in. Okay, we'll go over the next couple of tabs in a bit. Click OK. So here we've got all the doors. Okay, so in order to find a door, so for example, if you want to find a specific door, if you click on any of these doors and then highlight a model, it will actually find the one that refers to you. Okay, so this is a live schedule. Okay, so as you add more doors in, it will update the schedule. Okay, so once you've created the schedule, it will always add to it or remove from it as it needs to. Okay, so which makes it very interactive and very quick for any future changes and that kind of stuff. I'll go back to here. And the information within this door schedule, if you go into, for example, I'll click a door and then highlight a model. In order to add information into your schedule, into your doors and things like that, if you click on the door, and if I go to edit type for that door, within your properties panel, within the edit type window, you'll see down here you have the information identity data. This is where all this information is located. Okay, so as I said before, if you download models from online stores or company stores, websites, that kind of thing, or MBS, they typically have some of this stuff already filled in for specification purposes. But you can also put in your own one if you want. So you can put generic models in and create your own set of properties based on the types of doors and windows and furniture that you typically use and specify. For example, here, if I want to change some of the data here, I can say manufacturer is, I'll just pick a manufacturer of a fire door. And then description is in general single door. Model number, I'll just put an 8843G from the, and then you can put website in if you want. We want fire rating, it's FD30, so 30-minute fire door. And you put cost in there. Type mark is for that's the number of the door type, and then click OK. So now if we go back to our schedule, you'll see now all those doors that use that specific door type now have that information added into it. Okay. Okay, so what you can also do is actually edit all these tabs here as well. So instead of having to go to the module itself, you can actually adjust things here. So if I say, for example, this door here, if I go down to here and this type of door, I'll pick another door which is different. 910 doors, so I'll click on this one. If I say that's the same manufacturer, or I'll pick another one, so that's another type of manufacturer. Okay, and then if I give that another code, 884346 and GFD60, and that's, for example, what happened there? That one. Okay, and then, for example, I've done this before, so that's why they're coming up. So if I say FD60 for those, so there's 60, there'll be 60-minute doors, so FD60. Okay, so yeah, you can add things in. So if I go back into here and click on this one and find that in the model, so that, and then if I click on that one, go edit type. Now that's added in all those information in that space as well. But through the schedule itself. So you can actually do a lot of things in the schedule itself without having to go into the model. Some people just, when they receive a model, all they're interested in is looking at the schedules or creating schedules and get the information they want out of it, which is obviously helps save time in the long run. So next thing we're going to do is tidy this up somewhat, make it look a bit cleaner. Obviously, you can fill out the rest of it for yourself. If there is any that don't have any door marks, so for example, if I go this one, just check which one that is, because that doesn't have a door mark. I go this one. Yeah, that's my external door, so I'm happy with that. Sometimes you've got doors that you've either deleted or are not placed well, and then it still creates that as a on the door schedule. So if there is any that's not there, you just right click it and delete row, and that'll get rid of that that door essential, or that mark for that door in there as well. So it means it's clean. It's a clean schedule. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, if you click on sorting and grouping, we're going to tidy this up. So sorting and grouping, and then if you go to sort by, we're going to sort this by level, and then I'm going to put a header on my on the top of every level, so that at least I know which level these doors are on. Next thing I'm going to sort them by is width. Okay, once we've done that, we want to obviously click on grand total, so to give us a grand total of how many number of doors we have of specific types, and then title, count, and totals. That's fine. And then itemize every instance. That'll itemize every instance of the door. You click OK, and we'll see what we get. So see here, so we've got the ground floor, so it's got all the ground floor doors in there, and it's got all the first floor doors in there. It tells you total number of doors is 35. Another thing we can do is group them together even further. So if I go to fields and I add in count and bring that in, I click OK. So everything's given a 1 count. However, if I now go back to my sorting grouping and then I click on unclick itemize every instance, I click OK, it will now group all of those ones that are similar together, so that at least we can count the amount of doors we need for a specific type. So I now know that the type mark 53, I need to order 1 door, but with this one, I need to order 7 doors. So whichever one that is, I will need 7 doors for that one. Okay, so that's how you can group and kind of play about with different ways of viewing your schedules. Okay, so this bit here is quite powerful, so have a play about with that and see what other things you can organize them by. Another way I could have done this, if I go to sort and grouping, I could have changed the the width, so that's itemize them and group them together based on width. But if I now go to, for example, model, and then click OK, so what that will do is now group them based on model, or the model number. So I now know I need to order that model number, 3 versions of that model number, 1 of those and 3 of those for my ground floor. Again here, 3 of those, and then one of those for the ground floor. So that's another way you can quickly find the information you need based on the Revit model that you get to identify how to use the information that you've got. Again, you can format these to show and hide different things. For now, we've obviously shown them as per level, but if I go back into here and click on formatting, and if I go to, for example, I don't want to show mark, because in this version, mark is not important on what I need, so I can say that's hidden. And then if I go to, for example, level, and hide that, click OK. See, now it'll get rid of those 2 fields, not get rid of them, it will hide them, and we've now got a much more cleaner table to look at now. So we've got specific things. That one is not obviously filled in yet, whichever door that one is. You can click it and see if I can find it in the model. Click on my ground floor. Okay, so that one just because I've not finished it, but yeah, that's much more cleaner model for the specification. Sorry, So it gives you the mark type, which is the actual code name for that door, width, the height, the fire rating of that door, the manufacturer, the model, and the number of doors that you need of that type. So much more simpler way of communicating that to whoever needs it for ordering purposes and for quantity purposes within the project. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some more information to the doors. So we're going to tag the doors. So tagging, you can tag anything in Revit based on, so tagging is basically giving an item or a component a code number essentially, and you can actually create tags yourself. That's a separate part of Revit. You can actually create tags. There's already a lot loaded in terms of preset tags that you can use in terms of what information tags show. So tags show a certain amount of information of a specific product. For example, a door, it might show the door width, the door number, fire rating of a door. So you can pick and choose what information you want to show in the tags. For this one, we're going to just use preset tags. You can individually, so if I go into ground floor, and I click on tag by category. So if I hover over, for example, a door, it will tag that door because it knows what a door tag is. It's preset in there. So if I click on there, it's giving me the door number. If I click on that tag, click escape, click on that tag, it's giving me a couple of options. You can have a box, you can have it with a door and the fire rating, you can have a leader line, so you take that leader line off, or orientation, horizontal and vertical. So this is a preset tag that you can get Revit's got within it. It's up to you if you want to use this one. You can create your own ones, but I said that's a separate part of Revit. So in this case, it has individually, you can go individually and add tags. So again, I can go here, I can tag a wall. So that's the wall tag symbol that they've specified as default. So you can go through it manually if you want. So I'll just click Control Z to undo that a couple of steps. So next thing I'm going to do is, the quicker way of doing it is tag all. Then I can go tag doors. I'm going to tag all my doors. Here, loaded tags, that's the loading, that's the actual tag annotation file. So what do you want? Again, these are just the preset ones. You can create your own ones. So I'm going to use number and rating. So number and fire rating. You can click on leader line if you want, and if you want a horizontal or vertical tag there as well. I'm just going to click apply and click OK. So you'll now see all my doors have been tagged. So you can see there, you can move the tags around if you want, but that's door number and the fire rating, obviously my ones, and that relates obviously to your schedule. So that will relate all the way to your schedule, because every door has a specific type. So if I click on that door, if I go, so that's mark number is 25, so that's door number 25. I click on here, and then there you go, that's fire door 60, FD60, so that's the fire rating. So yeah, you can pick and choose what information goes into these tags. As I said, that's what Revit can do. For now, we're just using the default ones. Obviously, on my ones, if you see a question mark, it means that information has not been put in yet. So for example, this door has no fire rating attached to it. So if I click on this door, click edit type, you'll see here, I've not put in the fire rating here because I've probably not done it yet. So if I do FD60 here now, click enter, click OK, that'll add that in, and it's add that in because those two doors are exactly the same. So yeah, it gives you a chance to identify any information that's missing. Obviously, you can move them around and make it neater if you want. You can use the other ones if you want, so you can use the boxed ones if you want, and just have a number on it if you want. If you think that's cleaner, I'll leave that decision to you. That brings us to the end of how to tag doors and create door schedules.